Nematodes. Most nematodes are harmless, but handful of troublesome species attack the outside surface of the plant, burrowing into the plant tissue and causing root, stem, foliar, and even flower damage. Other nematodes live inside the plant for a part of their life and causing damage from the inside out. This is the shape of nematode and cause a lot of damage for crops. Farmers usually addressed nematodes by different type of insecticides. General benefits of microbes in general. Number one, microorganisms destruct the organic matter and prevent its accumulation on the surface of the earth and release essential elements needed for plant such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and so on. Microorganisms also produce the necessary carbon dioxide for photosynthesis and the formation of humus, which improves the physical and chemical properties of soil and increase their fertility. The third benefit of microorganisms is that it make nitrogen fixation and increase soil fertility. The fourth is microbes can make oxidation and reduction of some element and converting them into a form can be absorbed by plants such as sulfur and iron. Microbe can make production of various antibiotics used in the treatment of many diseases that affect human and animal, and also plant. Remediation of soil and water polluted by microorganisms. So microorganisms can use for the soil and water remediation from organic pollutant. Microbes can use for the treatment of sewage sludge and production of organic filterizers. So these are the 7 benefits of microbes on the soils. Now I will go through another topics. I will give you 2 cycles of macronutrients. I will give you the cycle of carbon and nitrogen. Of course, each nutrient has a cycle in the ecosystem. I will focus only on 2 cycles as an example of the cycles of different elements in the ecosystem. Carbon cycle. Carbon is an important element in the structure of the cell, as you know. 95% of the dry weight of the plant is carbon, which for account for 50% of microbial cell weight. The carbon obtained this carbon from the air, carbon dioxide. Autotrophic microorganisms obtain carbon dioxide from the air or from organic matter, plant residues, or root and organic fertilizers. Heterotrophic microorganisms. So the autotrophic microorganisms depend on carbon dioxide from the air, while heterotrophic microorganisms obtain carbon from organic matter residues. two main processes in carbon cycle. The first is mineralization and the second is assimilation. So if you have autotrophic organisms, minerals from soil, air, and water in organic material, assimilation by autotrophic organisms, and produce organic matter. Heterotrophic organisms can make mineralization of the organic matter and produce carbon dioxide. So the process of carbon cycle is divided into two processes. The first is assimilation from the air carbon dioxide by autotrophic organisms, and the second is decomposition of organic matter assimilated by microorganisms, decomposition by heterotrophic microorganisms, and make mineralization to form in organic form. Carbon assimilation, as you know, mineral carbon dioxide is converted into organic carbon in plant or microbial living cell, plant and algae, as I told you, that contain chlorophyll cell, as well as some bacteria used carbon dioxide as a sole source of carbon to synthesize organic matter. While carbon mineralization is a transformation of organic matter or organic carbon found in organic matter into mineral carbon in the form of carbon dioxide, and in which the release of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Mineralization process is reverse of assimilation of carbon, in which microbes decompose the plant and animal tissue and produce carbon dioxide as a final product of the decomposition of these tissue. Okay, the final product is carbon dioxide. So this is the carbon assimilation. Living organisms in soil decompose organic matter for purposes, for different purposes. The first is to provide energy needed for growth. The second is to provide carbon needed to build new cells. Under aerobic condition, assimilation of 20 to 40% of organic matter carbon to create new microbial cell. The rest released in the form of carbon dioxide into the air. So only 20 to 40% are used. Factor affecting the rate of humus mineralization or decomposition of organic matter. The first important factor is the organic matter percentage. The higher organic matter, the high mineralization. The second is cultivation. Cultivation means add water, wet and aeration help in organic matter mineralization. Temperature, higher temperature increases humus mineralization. pH, as you know, bacteria active on neutral pH, while fungi and actinomycetes are active on lower pH. So the higher pH lets the bacteria enhance human mineralization. Aeration, the aeration also enhance or increase humus mineralization. The depth has a negative impact on the microbial activity at the humus mineralization due to limit of oxygen and maybe the vital factors in depth decrease. So this factor, again here summarize, chemical composition of organic matter add to the soil, enhance the mineralization rate of organic matter, heat up to 40 increase also, aeration also, carbonated material mineralization decreases as average oxygen supply decrease. Moisture with 60 to 80% of water holding capacity enhance these mineralization. pH in neutral or slightly alkaline nutrient also increases mineralization. C-N ratio. What's the meaning of a C-N ratio? If the carbon is high and nitrogen is low, so the C-N ratio will be wider than 25. So it will have a negative impact. So when C-N ratio increases, it's not benefit for bacteria because bacteria like N. So, but if C-N ratio is low, less than 25, then it has a positive impact. So, for example, if you have protein, it will be benefit than cellulose, for example, for degradation for mineralization by bacteria or microorganisms. Because the C-N ratio in leguminous plant is low, while C-N ratio in cellulose is high. Plant algae have a positive with young plant. Plant age. Plant age. The younger plant is favorable for plant to be decomposed or to degrade, while the proportion of lignin content has a negative impact. Small size also better than larger sites for the degradation of organic matter. Nitrogen cycle. This is the second cycle. And last part of this lecture. The element of nitrogen is very important element, entered as a key component in the protein molecule synthesis, on which all different life forms are based. It is one of the essential components of plant protoplasm of animal and microorganisms cell. Atmospheric air is a main reservoir of nitrogen element in the form of N2 gas, which nitrogen constituent 79% of the atmospheric component. So the main source of nitrogen is the atmosphere, while the main source of phosphorus, for example, is the soil. The phosphorus and other nutrient. CHO macronutrient is from air and water. Also nitrogen, although the plant take nitrogen from the soil as a soluble in water, nonetheless the main source of nitrogen are the air. The deficiency of nitrogen led to a decrease of the quantity of crops and its quality due to nitrogen is lost by volatilization. If the nitrogen lost by volatilization as an N gas, then the productivity will decrease rapidly.